Hello, hello, Carmen here. I'm happy to be here. I am a myofunctional therapist if I am new to you, and I do this type of education every day. I am super excited. Two reasons. One, I'm moving, so you can see my office and my studio is so plain. Next week, you're going to find me somewhere more exciting than this. And then second, the reason I am so excited is because I am going to be teaching you or talking with you about my three most favorite exercises. So when I was trying to decide what really was my most favorite exercise, I thought this is going to be hard because I have so many favorites for so many different reasons. So I'm going to be sharing three with you. There are three very different exercises for different reasons. So also, if you did not read my new blog, it came out this week and it is called How Do You Tell If a Client is Progressing? I am just throwing it out there in the world. I don't know what it is. It must be a full moon, but so many of you guys are coming to me for your third and fourth opinion, which breaks my heart because that means that things are just not aligning. So the thing with the reason that I kind of have paired these two together is because every single session that I have with the client, I'm making sure that they're progressing. And if they're not progressing, I mean, it's all about improvement of function. So if somebody is not progressing, then we definitely have a concern. So that's why I'm talking about them kind of together. So the three exercises, this is going to be short and sweet, so let's just jump right into it. The first exercise that I'm going to talk about is called tongue carpet. Now, tongue carpet is what I would call an oral pharyngeal exercise. And so this is a biggie that I use for clients that have snoring, sleep apnea concerns. Now, initially, I had never learned about this exercise. I read about it a lot in the research, and of course, it doesn't have a really cool name, so I had to give it a name. So there you have it, tongue carpet. How unoriginal, right? And so tongue carpet is something that I do with somebody after they have been in therapy with me for a while. Because any of you who know about myofunctional impairment, you know that the lights are on, but nobody's home. So when I can demonstrate something with my tongue, oftentimes you guys flop this pancake tongue out there and nothing happens. So that's why I have to wait until I can start with it. So I'm going to show you tongue carpet. Now I'm going to show you in the mouth, and then I'm going to show you from the side here. So the tongue carpet works these suprahyoid muscles here. If you want to drop into a rabbit hole, just Google suprahyoid muscles and you're going to learn all about them. They're important in swallowing. They're important in so many things. So when I show you tongue carpet, this is hard for so many people because a lot of people have trouble pulling the tongue the other direction. So I have my clients force the tongue to the floor, so they're pulling it from down below. This is really, really difficult. So I teach that if you anchor the tip of the tongue on the bottom front teeth, and so you kind of use that as your lever and you just pull down, and then you're going to hold that for a count of 10 and release, and then start it over. Notice that when I demonstrate it, both sides of my tongue pull down at the same time, and the back of my tongue, obviously I'm really well practiced at this because I practice it hundreds and hundreds of times every month, but I can do it the same both sides. For some people, sometimes it's kind of cockeyed and they have to get control of that. So I'm going to grab my camera, bring it in close. Notice you'll see my tongue pinned, and then it's going to pull down. Okay. Then I'm going to show you here where you should be able to feel these muscles working, and you can also see it working. So first, let's see what it looks like inside my mouth. Now I can see that it's dark inside my mouth, but you can get the gist of it. So you see that my tongue is pulling down. Now, if you look from the side, You should be able to feel that. Many of my clients have so much impairment that they can't, A, get their tongue to do anything that they want, and B, they don't have the strength to pull down. All right, that is tongue carpet. So have fun practicing that. The next is called perfect bowl. I love perfect bowl because I'm really, really good at it. And I love when clients look at me like, holy cow. So when I teach perfect bowl to my clients, we're obviously folding the sides of the tongue up and we're bringing the tip back. The important thing is that it needs to be in the mouth so that you're not using your cheaters here, your training wheels, because your lips will try and help. You'll try and compensate from here. You're going to try everything to be able to do it. I make my clients be able to do perfect bowl as good as mine and without compensation here. So many people, if they struggle, I always say they're lifting from their toes. So perfect bowl is going to be looking just like a bowl, but it needs to be in the mouth. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to pull the camera in here. So you can see when I do it, it is a perfect bowl. So I tell my clients, you could put a frozen pea in there. You could put a piece of candy. I had a little boy who, bless his little heart, he worked so hard to perfect this that he would put a little Lego on his tongue. And anything there to help wrap around it, he could visualize and see that he could get those side muscles to work, and then he would bring the tip of the tongue back. So if you're trying to learn how to do perfect bowl, don't jump right into it because it's going to be harder, especially if you have a tongue tie, it's going to be really hard. But it takes some muscle and coordination to be able to do this. You have different sets of muscles in your mouth. Some are extrinsic and some are intrinsic, and they do two things. One set of muscles control the position of the tongue, and one set of muscles control the shape of the tongue. So sometimes I have a client who might be able to do perfect bowl easy, but if I try and teach them a different exercise, again, the lights are on but nobody's home, because though that muscular impairment or some variation thereof, it just isn't working right. So that's why it can be such a challenge. Okay, again, perfect bowl. I want my clients to be able to do perfect bowl as good as mine on command. So it looks like this if you're just hanging out and then you do it. Notice when I flop my tongue around, nothing's going on here. So I'm not struggling. All right, that's perfect bowl. So that one I teach to create strength and also new neuromuscular connections. So there's plenty of times, like I keep saying, the lights are on but nobody's home. You have to teach your tongue that you're the boss of it. And sometimes you're making a new connection between here and here. Much like when you do a bicep curl and you're communicating to your muscles what to do, the same thing has to happen in your mouth. And so perfect bowl is a great example of that. The last one I'm going to share with you today is called fast click. So this is a part of a compound exercise that I teach, but I'm just going to focus on the fast clicking part here today because this is one that many of you have a big problem with. And the reason that a lot of you have trouble with it is if you have a tongue tie, every time you pick your tongue up, you want to bring your chin with it. And that's just because your chin and your tongue basically think that they're one. I always say they think they're married. And so we have to teach them that they're not. And so that obviously, if you're doing therapy with me, that requires a frenectomy. But the other thing is there's a lot of things that we do where we use our TM joint, which is the most complex joint in the body. And many of you have concerns here. Oftentimes your joint is doing things that your tongue should do, and it becomes a repetitive stress injury. So like something like golfer's elbow or tennis elbow, those type of things. So for example, when I do clicking, when I do it, you will see that my chin doesn't move. So oftentimes my clients, so I challenge you, see where you're at. Can you click without your chin? I like to put my elbow like on a table or a desk and then just provide a little bit of tactile sense here so that you can see if you can do it without the compensation of the joint here. The same thing also happens like sometimes with certain sounds. Now, myofunctional therapy is not speech therapy by any means. And especially somebody like me who has a dental hygiene background, we don't do speech therapy. But oftentimes clients who do myofunctional therapy then are successful with their speech therapy because of what they learn. But one problem I do see improve with my clients is like take L for example. Many of my clients will say la 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 la. That's what I can do. I can do it without my jaw, but my clients will say la 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 la. And again, they're using their joint. So that also happens when I teach something like K sounds. They should be using the back of their tongue and they have to. See, it's even hard for me to actually do it wrong, but I totally think you get the picture. So when I teach fast clicks, the point of that is to get the tongue working so that there is no compensation from the jaw. So I gave you guys 3 very different exercises. I'm curious to know who can do them or who has a little bit of struggle, so this will be fun. Next, let's talk about the 2 freebies that you can get. If you go to my blog, let me put the link up here for you. We have 2 now. You guys have heard me talking for a while about the free assessment tool. This is a game changer, you guys. If you have questions about myofunctional impairment, if you don't want to talk to a human being just yet, but you're kind of just wanting to drop into that rabbit hole and see if you have concerns, go to the bottom of my blogs and you can sign up to get this download tool or download this free assessment tool. That's a mouthful. You are going to go through and mark off where you have yeses, where you have nos. These are 25 of the most important questions that I ask during a comprehensive exam. This is meant to start a conversation between me and you or me and somebody else. I don't care who you see. I just want you to see somebody, okay? But this tool is a great resource for you to be able to say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I should be nasal breathing. I didn't realize that my swallowing and choking on water all the time could be myofunctional impairment. So get this tool, use it, find somebody, get some help, okay? The other thing that you can get most recently, I think we only put it out a couple of weeks ago, so there's going to be probably the most recent 2 or 3 blogs, is my sleep tool. So I also teach sleep hygiene with some of my clients, and this tool is helpful. You're going to get the sleep diary and then also my 10 biggest pieces of helpful information for you to improve sleep. Many of these things you already know, but sometimes we have to be told something that we already know. So do that. So at the bottom of any blog, get those tools. They're very helpful and they're for you. That's why I'm here. Next week, I am going to be talking about what my clients are most afraid of. So I look forward to that. Last, please follow us, share us. My team and I put out a ton of free content information for you so that we can educate you and provide you direction, what you should do, who you should talk to, where you should start. If you know somebody who needs this information, if it falls on your heart and you know that your dad has a sleep apnea concern, or your brother or your husband, wives, many of you are sleeping next to somebody at night who does not sleep well, so it's affecting their wellness, but it's also affecting you. because you sleep next to them, right? So share this information with somebody. We're on YouTube. I have the tongue tie and myofunctional therapy support group. I have this website. You can find me anywhere. So I will see you guys next week, and I'll be in a new studio. See you later.